Learning. Learning is a very fascinating and very important topic because it affects us greatly in everyday life and because it is an extremely varied and interesting topic. So, what is learning? Well, learning in psychology isn't just gaining knowledge, but it's also a change in behavior caused by one thing or another. So, learning is very varied. In psychology, there are different methods of learning, such as operational conditioning, classical conditioning, and observational learning. Learning is also varied because of how many different uses there are for learning. Learning can be used for animal training, for therapy, and is used to show empathy. So, let's start with operant conditioning. Operant conditioning is a style of learning that deals with reward and punishment, fairly straightforward. So what are reinforcement and punishment? Well, reinforcement is anything that makes a behavior more likely, and punishment is anything that makes a behavior less likely. Both reward and punishment have positive and negative form. Positive meaning that something is added, good or bad, and negative meaning that something is removed, good or bad. In The main person in operant conditioning was B.F. Skinner, who was the first person to really study operant conditioning and all of its ins and outs with the Skinner box. A good example of operant conditioning is grounding. Grounding is a form of negative punishment in which a good thing is removed to decrease the likelihood of an action. Um, Classical conditioning is when two stimuli are linked, or a stimulus is linked with a consequence. Oftentimes, yeah, stimulus is okay. Stop, stop, stop. Dang it! Reset, reset, reset. Okay. It's only at 6 seconds, so what if I did 14, 14? Now let's put on a 5-minute long timer. And go get a drink of water. You need to download something to approve. You need to download an extension with Chrome. And what I'm basically doing is I'm trying to make sure that on presentation it will never be exactly 15. If you so you can edit the times in presentation, right?
Yeah.
Record times.
So this is
However,
it itself.
yes,
Yeah?
but however, you have to realize that it always adds 1 extra second for the transition.
Okay.
So I had him at 15, and I thought I was fine. But I was going through it and realizing, timeout, 15 seconds isn't lining up to the stopwatch. So I went back, switched to 14. I'm setting that to run, and I have this on a 5-minute timer. They should coincide, and this is kind of just like a test. Make sure the whole thing lines up to 5 minutes.
What was the name?
So basically what it is my face is here. So I'm talking, and this is just kind of the caption that goes with it. So what is operant conditioning? Operant conditioning is a style of learning using reward and punishment. What is reward? Well, reinforcement and punishment. Reinforcement is basically reward. Reward meaning that it increases the likelihood. Punishment is rather self-explanatory. Decreases. I can only use pictures. That's the other thing. I can only use pictures. Positive being you add something, whether it be good or bad. Negative is taking something away, good or bad.
That I would do to simple.
And it kind of comes back. So B.F. Skinner, I talked a little bit about him. He did the Skinner boxes with the first one to study operant conditioning. And I think the next slide was the example, the grounding, right? Grounding is a really good example of operant conditioning. It's a negative punishment.
Yeah.
You take away something good. I would go a little bit more into detail about that. The classical conditioning, Pavlov's dogs. Best cartoon of fun. It's great. Linking something that was unrelated stimulus to a related stimulus to a response. The order of events is kind of, as I said before, you have, this one's a little bit hard to explain. Like in 15 seconds, this is hard to explain. I'm just hoping it works. I don't know, was it working before? I'm going to switch it back to 15. Let's see. The main person was Ivan Pavlov. He was the first person to discover, I guess you could say, classical conditioning rather than really invent it.
Well, then you should just use that to see if it's synchronized.
I'm using it right now. I'm not sure if it's fully synchronized. It's a bit. It's the timing is weird on Google presentation. It's like adding just a little bit, and I don't know how much it's adding each time.
Well, then it's easy. Just turn on the
Yeah, I have to click each time.
No, right now you're doing the timer, right? Just do the
stopwatch. I was trying, but I was looking at it, so I knew when I was about running out of time for my empathy. Talk about empathy, observational learning. And empathy is a big part of it. The ability to understand other people. And then the next one is about mirror neurons. Mirror neurons being neurons that allow us to see, imitate, and understand other people.
So now you want to see if this is the final.
I just want to see if the timing is right. That's all I really care about.
So what you do is like this. Okay, you have your stopwatch there, right? When you see the flicking, you push that stop button.
I tried doing that, but I'm not sure. Again, I wasn't exactly sure because I'm not accurate enough. This is more accurate because it knows exactly. Okay, this is how it is.
This is giving ID to the whole thing.
Well, the thing is, if everything is timed out correctly, it'll all add up to 5 minutes.
I know. That's what I'm saying. This is giving you the total time.
Right? Which is honestly more important. It might still be running a bit long. Oh, 2 minutes. 2 seconds. 5 seconds. It's like a 5 second. It's got like 5 extra seconds on there. What?
Alright, so how long is this one?
And it's going about.
It's alright.
It's an extra 5 seconds. It's got 5 extra seconds on it.
Okay, let me do this one.
The issue with me and the stopwatches that are not accurate enough with the stopwatch.
Why don't you start?